handle the issues of the regional politics or the national politics at the same time. So that's the only, fair point I wanted to tell him on my comment on the national politics, even when we...
You're chewing gum and walking at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah. Multitasking.
I think of significance is to realize that, one, the united opposition of the coalition of the deputies, they say they're in a divorce, but I think they're getting, in a manner of speaking, under so many bodies to get over their ex. And we don't know how that will end up. I don't see them producing a presidential candidate because, one, the leader of the DCP stands impeached as of today. And as of this constitution, he cannot run for any office. Two, the leader of the Jubilee Party is violating our own constitution again, because the Retirement Benefits Act stipulates very clearly that upon leaving office, you cannot be the leader of a political party 6 months after. Now, we are way beyond 6 months, and he's still the leader of the Jubilee Party. It is there in law. So they need to put their houses in order. And as for the ODM joining government, the broad-based, and they found comfort in saying that they could go ahead and support or find a working mechanism between themselves and UDA.
That's the art of negotiation, I think. You need to make your demands just as
which is fine. You need to up your value so that the other person can see why should they onboard you, and I agree with that. I'll leave them to discuss their internal issues. But I think they need to put the interest of the spirit of the ODM party first. It was a party that was about the people, for the people, and it has advanced agitation against so many regimes. The one fault I found constantly with the ODM party is that they've always ended up forming a merger, a coalition, a broad-based handshake. And they denied us, as Kenyans, in my opinion, an opportunity to have a regime get into office and serve a whole term and see how they would have functioned. So I'm really looking forward to 2027, whereby we, the people, will have a presidential candidate. You know, people keep talking about the current regime and the united coalition of the deputies as if they are the only political formations and fraternities we have. That's not correct. We, the people, are going to have a candidate. There are so many presidential aspirants that have come up. Boniface Mwangi is one of them. Jimmy Wanjigi is another on the Safina party. We have Maraga. We have then the incumbent.
Ruben Kigame.
As well. So there are so many. And we are going to evaluate and assess everybody who comes. What is your manifesto? What is your agenda? And how do we now coalesce as a people, as political parties, and then form the next regime? So we need to advance that conversation and have a lot of political tolerance, because the ideas will be divergent, but we must agree to disagree. At the end of the day, the will of the people must prevail.
Bamba.
Okay, well, with the ODM in Azimio, and ODM through the Right Honorable Raila Odinga joint government, the broad-based government. So technically, from that time up to the time we'll be getting to the elections, they'll be beneficiaries of the arrangement of the government as it is. And it's usually say that you cannot have your cake and eat it. So ODM cannot escape from the fact that they are part of the government and they are supposed to work together with the President Ruto, even getting into the re-election, because this is an arrangement where they have been benefiting. But again, I want to explain from my own understanding the demands by the party leader, Dr. Oburu Odinga. I think that's a way of also encouraging the members of ODM to feel that they are fighting for higher stakes as they get into the coalition with the UDA. So I do not find any problem with him demanding the position of the deputy president, because almost everybody is trying to demand that. I saw some people from Western who are fronting Honorable Musalia Mudavadi to be the deputy president come 2027. And then there is also the incumbent, Professor Kindiki. So it's a matter of competition, and that's what politics is all about. If you look at 2007, it is strongly believed that, many people believe that Right Honorable Raila Odinga won election. They disputed the 2007 elections. And if you look at the matrix that the President Ruto is using right now, it appears extremely difficult for him to be defeated in the coming election of 2027. Because if he consolidates the original base of ODM as it was in 2007, then he has a very high chance of winning. If you saw in the Pentagon, they were with the Mudavadi, Raila Odinga, William Ruto, and Joe Nyaga and Balala, the last two being some form of flower girls. but they still managed to get a lot of votes. So if Western Rift Valley and Nyanza are properly consolidated, the president already has a very serious headway. And given that there's no strong contender from Mount Kenya, there's a very high likelihood that he'll still get a good percentage from Mount Kenya and other regions.
The 45%.
To be more than, possibly that 45%. To be more than what Raila got in 2007 in terms of percentages. So there's no likelihood that this disjointed opposition will manage to maneuver and get even a single candidate. I'm not seeing a situation by somebody like Rigathi Gachagua will be working with Matiang'i under one roof.
So are you insinuating that Kalonzo Musyoka is not a formidable candidate?
He may be a formidable candidate, but the odds against the whole arrangement of united opposition is quite interesting. You see, even in Western, I've mentioned Natembeya, who is being projected now by newspapers, whether sponsored headlines or otherwise, as the supposed running mate of Kalonzo Musyoka, has nothing on the ground. He does not have a following. He just got overexcited, made a lot of noise everywhere to escape responsibility in his county and project himself as a national leader. I think he's afraid of losing the election in 2027 because he has not delivered as governor.
Thank you.
So he's trying to project himself as a national leader.
Yeah. Fanyamambo, you briefly,
I'll start with
give our closing remarks. Yes.
Yeah, very quickly. I'll start with him and tell him Article 36 of our Constitution allows President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta to do whatever he wants and form associations and be part of any political party that he wants. The fact that the Retirement Benefit Act takes away from him, then it becomes unconstitutional to the extent of the inconsistency. Because anything that takes away from you what was given to you by the Constitution then becomes unconstitutional to the extent of that inconsistency. So Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, look at Obama. When Obama left office, he came out, he campaigned for Joe Biden, he finished, he came out, he also campaigned for Kamala Harris. He was completely and totally involved in the campaigns of Kamala Harris. So you cannot stop a retired president using a stupid Retirement Benefits Act from participating in his democratic rights that are granted by the Constitution in Article 36. President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, feel free to do anything, to campaign for anybody you want. If that happens in the US, retired presidents campaign for the people they want to campaign for.
And the Constitution supersedes the Act.
Of course. Now, secondly, it was him. You see, Robert Alai has been speaking here about Rigathi Gachagua all the time. Is Rigathi Gachagua the person in charge of the abductions that are happening right now? Is he the one who is supporting Museveni, who is butchering Kenyans and we don't know where they are? Is he the one who is the reason why we have university strikes going for 6 months right now and teachers not being paid? Is he the one who is presiding over 11 billion that is being stolen through the e-citizen? Is he the one who has brought this university funding model that is not paying money to school? Is he the one who is refusing to give capitation to school? Is he the one who is bribing the youth through this Nyota program? Is he the one who has done all the above? All I'm trying to tell you is this. The problem we have in this country is that president of yours called William Ruto that you're supporting. Can you face the problem? Stop looking for people to blame for the things that William Ruto is not doing right. William Ruto is the president right now. If students are home for 6 months, stop blaming Rigathi Gachagua for students being at home for 6 months. Stop blaming Kalonzo. Stop blaming the opposition. Deal with your president that you are supporting. In fact, you are complicit to our students being at home for 6 months because you are supporting a government that is dishing out money kiholela and our students at home. Finally,
we need to wind up.
You are telling us here, that William Ruto is...
Everyone is on the firing line.
Yes. You need to understand one thing, that the person that William Ruto is vying against is not Kalonzo, is not all those people you're seeing in the university, in the united opposition. William Ruto is vying against abductions. William Ruto is vying against university funding model. He's vying against a share that is not working. He's vying against bribing the youth through Nyota program. He's vying against avoidable housing. Tell me anybody who's been deducted money from avoidable housing that is going to vote for William Ruto. He's vying against his own bad manners. He's vying against privatization of beaches.
Thank you.
So tell me someone who will wake up and vote for William Ruto. It is not the candidate. In fact, we always say, ata tukichukua hii mobile phone versus William Ruto, prepare for your excellency the mobile phone.
Just a political narrative.
Yes.
All right, let's get to our closing remarks, beginning with you. Kamanya, very briefly, 30 seconds.
Yeah, just a quick one. Campaigning for a candidate is different from holding office. So we need to not mislead the former president. He can campaign, but he cannot hold office of a political